Good morning, good morning, good morning. You know where you are. Big Ryan's day after the Texans season 6, y'all. Brought to you by the Brunch Bus. Say you want to eat out but you don't know who to trust? You should find Houston's first mobile brunch bus. From catering to private dinners, from breakfast to lunch, the Brunch Bus delivers. So if it's good food you trust, well, it's still the Brunch Bus. Win in the books, y'all. Number one, I told you Mike Tomlin told me what thing we ain't gonna never do. We ain't gonna never will we apologize for a win. So let's put it in perspective. We're gonna take it for what it is. We're not gonna overreact to it or nothing like that, because there are still some things that need to be cleaning up. Still too many threes and outs, too many threes being taken. It took for late in the game for this guy to look like himself. Early on, he was missing guys. He missed a touchdown deep. He missed another receiver deep. It took a minute for him to get to be himself. But once he did, whoa, looked like a better team yesterday. The defense really set the table and recording a 26-0 shutout. Biggest shutout in our history, and the first time since 2010. And guess who we shut out then? The Titans. It was 20-0. So that's to be expected, y'all. Before I go any further on the defense yesterday, I seen something in the fourth quarter I've never seen before. When the fourth quarter started, they called a false start on the defense. Now, you know anything about football, y'all? I've never heard that before. Have you? Let me know in the comments. Sunday was a great day, though. Let me start out by saying that Sunday was a great day. I'll get back to the game in just a second. Sunday was an awesome day, y'all. We got up. I seen so many jerseys yesterday of friends and family at the church. It was amazing, and we were rocking. If there was a contest, the Texans would have won. Cowboys was a close second, and you had T-shirts Cowboys, you had T-shirts Texans, and other teams, Kansas City. Seen a couple of Kansas City jerseys. Seen a couple of jerseys don't belong to nobody. You know, all that. But the Texans would have won that thing if they took a vote on it. And also yesterday, while I was at church for family and friends, my wife tore it up on the lead song. I'm talking about she had shivers in my bones yesterday. You know what I'm saying? And I hadn't heard her do that in a long time. Now, maybe them at the church see it more often than I do, because I'm not there as much as she is. But wow, I was impressed. Not shocked at all. I know she could do this. I just hadn't seen it in a while. Great job, wifey. Great job. Moving on. Back to my Texans. Getting our first win of the season. I know people are going to say Baltimore didn't look good against KC. KC is not the Texans. And I know that Baltimore's missing 6 defenders. Let's not overreact to beating a team that came into yesterday with the most drops in the NFL. Only scored 3 touchdowns all season. So let's not overstate what it was. But let's at the same time enjoy what it was. It was 26-0. It was 6-0 all the way to the fourth quarter, and then all of a sudden the Texans started to look like a well-oiled machine when they went down and scored 3 times in a row. We haven't done that all year. I think we had 3 touchdowns in all season, and for us to go and have 3 in a row was absolutely marvelous. And they was a different variety. We started our own 13. We went 13 plays, 82 yards, 7 minutes, 51 seconds. Touchdown. We started on opponent's 44. We didn't waste no time. 6 plays, 44 yards, touchdown. 3 minutes and 12 seconds. Opponent's 31. We run 4 plays, 31 yards, touchdown, 1 minute and 57 seconds. It started to look like a well-oiled machine. Tennessee has a pretty decent defense. It's not nothing that I would write home about. They probably still in the back of the pack. But whenever you're able to execute like this, it's for your own good. It's not about the other team. It's about us looking like we had something to do, you know. Defense was excellent as usual. They held the ball to 10 of 26. This is the guy they took number 1 and left Shedeur Sanders to the 5th round. He had a season low 108 yards. We, on the other hand, we gave it to him. And I tell you, I like that combination of Marks and Chubb. You know, you didn't really see 33. I can't say his name that good. He's the foreign boy. And you didn't see Pierce very much. I don't think I seen neither one of them at all yesterday unless he was on special teams. I think the running game right now is going to revolve around Marks and Chubb. until Mixon comes back. Now, I don't know what happened when Mixon comes back, because I like this duo. Yesterday, they had 30 carries combined for 116 yards. Hey, that's a workmanlike day. That's a workmanlike day. I liked it. I was impressed with it. I was impressed with the time of possession yesterday. We kept the ball 38 minutes and 21 seconds to that 21 minutes and 39 seconds. I like that. I really liked it that. We outgained them yesterday, 353 yards to 175. You see the pattern here? We're starting to add on to what we've been doing and start to look like something. Defense has been playing tough anyway, but I think D'Amico gave up the defensive calling duties and let Matt Burke actually be the defensive coordinator yesterday. And I think he did that so he could concentrate on the overall team. Not just the defense. He could concentrate on the offense. They said at halftime he went in and told CJ, keep your foot on the gas. That's why maybe they start to look like something with maybe 7 minutes and something left in the third. They finally start to look like something, Yeah, I had to take a sip of my Better Than Starbucks. Y'all like my cup? Y'all get at me, man. Ashley Walker did this cup for me. She's going to do a couple of more. She's just doing this one to get her design and let you know what she's capable of. And she put Will Anderson's name on there for me and his number, because Will has been wrecking havoc. I have a scary thing to be worried about, y'all. Our defensive ends are really built to go get the quarterback from the outside because he has a drop back and we have a lead. Like yesterday, that's why we accumulated some sacks. There are still times where our defensive ends don't have edge integrity. And what that means, let me explain what that means. That means they're getting sucked up on the inside. Even if it's a stunt, that means whoever stunt with you needs to get back outside. There has to be edge integrity, or a team can pop outside. And once a quarterback can pop outside, and once he does that and there's no edge integrity, he can break and maybe throw the ball or go for a long run. You know what I mean? So that has to improve, because a lot of times being on the edge, you don't have to make the tackle. Just keeping the integrity where they can't run there and have to turn back inside where your help is, that's what you're going to have. So that I have a problem with still, the defense, and I have a problem with in the zone when we're dropping back. Every quarterback, if they escape that rush and get past the line of scrimmage, they running. We got to do better than that. I think that's more of a job of us containing. Once the pocket collapse, we can't let the quarterback find a way out of there. Can't do it. So that's still some things that need to be corrected here. But again, I say I'm never going to apologize for a win. I'm happy we got a first win. We need to get off the snide. It was also beautiful that it was a division game. It was also beautiful that the coach lost yesterday. I tell you what wasn't beautiful. Jacksonville won yesterday. Nobody expected that. So we still got work to do, and we'll find out a whole lot about ourselves come next week. If you remember Christmas Day last year, up until the halftime, we had Lamar in check. But back then, we had more of an offensive team, and we didn't score a touchdown. But we also got off the gas and bringing pressure on Lamar like we did in the first half. So hopefully they've learned for that. Lamar's really struggling right now. KC beat them to death yesterday. And KC's still dangerous when they get their receivers back. But I personally think their Super Bowl window has closed. That's just my opinion. Hey, they may be there in the end. I don't know. Because it seems like Lamar Jackson is 1-6 against him. He can't beat Mahomes. So I don't know what's going to happen now. The thing about it, let's get back to us. We haven't beaten the Ravens since they drafted Lamar Jackson. Whoa. How about that one? I think Lamar was drafted in, 18 or something? He was drafted in 2008. We haven't beat them since they drafted that boy, man. And I think we play them at least once every year. We ain't played them every year. We didn't play them. Maybe we missed 1 year, but I think we play them every year. Almost every year they on the schedule for some reason. So we got a lot to look forward to next week. But right now we're gonna celebrate and rumble and roll around in this victory, and then we'll get back to work tomorrow. Start concentrating on. We'll put in a game plan. We get back to work Wednesday and start concentrating on the Ravens. But you have to enjoy your win, But at the same time, the good thing about when you win, watching film is not as brutal when you're pointing out some things that can be corrected. There are still holes in the zone whenever we run a zone. Cats are finding their way to get open in the zone. There was a couple of busted plays yesterday, and C.J. Gardner-Johnson isn't here, so who was that on? So some things need to be cleaned up if we're going to have any opportunity of beating the Ravens. And I can say this here. If you can get the win and beat the Ravens and go into the break at 2-3, your confidence looks a whole lot better and feels a whole lot better than going into the break at 1-4. Okay? That's just true. I do like what I've seen about the Texans. The screen game looked good yesterday. I've been hollering, why don't you throw screens when they blitzing you and whatnot? Well, Tennessee didn't blitz a lot, but we still was able to execute some screen plays on them. Real nice ones at that. And this boy Marks, man, the running back, I'm telling you, that's in the backfield with Chubb. Marks is going to make a mark on this team because if you notice, each week he's getting more and more increased playing time. So much so yesterday to, again, I didn't see Pierce and I didn't see Obagule. Didn't see him. So, and I love the guy that, as a rookie, great with picking up the blitz. And he doesn't just pick up the blitz, he tries to obliterate the guy that's coming in. You know what I mean? He runs with aggressiveness and he has a shiftiness to him. But he's more of a power runner than Chubb. If Chubb get Chubb a hole, he's going to hop through that hole and go on about his business. So I like what I'm seeing. It's just that we're going to have to be on our note next week. For two reasons. They don't really have an explosive receiving core. They don't really have a hell of a running game. We can shut down Henry. It's been done before. We can do that. Our problem is going to be the tight end getting loose and on broken plays when Jackson get loose. So I don't know if we're going to imply a spy. I don't know a spy linebacker or safety that you can put on that can stick with Lamar for speed-wise. But you can also spy him and contain him till the rest of the team get there. So it can be done, but we got a lot of work for us. A lot of work. But I was impressed with Matt Burke calling the defense yesterday. Not much different than what D'Amico called, but I did see a little bit more pressure from time to time, and I enjoyed that. So Matt Burke was getting a chance to actually be the defensive coordinator. But the Texans got the chance to clean up a few things, you know. It took for our fifth time into the red zone for us to get well, first of all, we didn't get in the red zone for the fifth time until the end of the third quarter. Then we got our first touchdown in the red zone, and we were going to do it again. We got 2 of them last week. So we had no touchdowns in the red zone, period, and only 4 trips. And yesterday we had 2 touchdowns in there. So the improvement is on the way. It just has to be more consistent, and we got to stop starting games slow. You can't. I want to see your first drive produce a 7 and out of 3. I want to see your second drive produce a 7 and out of 3. But if your first drive produced a touchdown, I can live with the second one producing a 3. But you can't go down there. It's the same old story with any Texan team or any team. When you go down and kick 2 field goals, you've had 2 possessions. A team only needs 1 possession to take the lead on you. It's a touchdown and an extra point. They're up. You see what I'm saying? So there has to be more of an urgency of putting that ball in the end zone. But I can see it starting to come together yesterday. And finally, Stroud hit the rookie Higgins on the touchdown. He got behind the defense. Well, actually, he's behind the defense on the one I said he missed. But I'm going to tell you what got us going yesterday. 3rd down and 33. And he hit Nico Collins for 37 yards. That started everything. The avalanche came after that. Because to start the 4th quarter, you had the Marks scoring a touchdown on the reception from Stroud. Then Stroud hit the receiver later. Then Marks ran around again. So we just poured it on from there. And 26-0. Hey, winning the game in this league is tough. Winning the game 26-0 in this league is even tougher. I don't care who you're playing. And as you can see, this season is not like any other season. This is one of those wild seasons where you don't know nothing. Everything you think you know about football goes out the back door. Prime example, Chicago beating Dallas last week. Yesterday, the Giants beating the Chargers. You know, things like that are happening. This is not a regular predictable season. So anything can happen. And again, I say the last team to go from 0-3 to the playoffs were the Texans, 2018. More talented team, maybe even a better defense. I don't know. But all that being said, we the last one to do it, so let's do it again. How about doing it again? Good morning, Mary Cal. What's happening? Let's do it again. We can do it again. I have no, like I told you when we was 0-2, last team to come from 0-2 go to the playoffs with the Texans. So it can be done. It's just like we still have a few things we got to clean up, y'all. And I'm just being truthful with you. There are a few things that really needs to be cleaned up. And I'm sure watching film, they're going to talk about that. You know, I still think we're having too many penalties. And especially offensive penalties on great runs and all that, and they have to come back. Yesterday we had two great big plays going. Like one was a run, another one was a run. They bring them both back because of the penalties. You know what I mean? And alert to all my Texan fans. A hater has joined because his team lost yesterday. Be careful. He's a 49er fan. There's no telling what he might say. You guys disregard that and keep on living and watching the show. But like I say, we're not going to get overexcited, but we're going to celebrate a win. We're not going to apologize for it. We got to go to Baltimore. And we haven't beaten Baltimore since Lamar Jackson moved to Baltimore. So something has to give. At some point in time, that has to change. Now, when it's going to change, I don't know, but it has to change at some point. You know, it's like Michael Vick in Atlanta went to Green Bay, and no road team had won a playoff game in Green Bay. And the coach turned around and told him they had to change at some time. And it changed that night. So at some point, we're going to have to beat him. You know, and we need to beat him in the regular season in case we see him in the playoffs to let him know he can be beat, because he don't know how to lose to the Texans. We haven't beaten him since he's been down there. That has to change. But I can say this, a more consistent running game will always help CJ. This offense is supposed to be built around being able to run the ball and hit you with the play action. I hope that I didn't hear too much crying about the line yesterday, because CJ back there hitting bombs and having time, and even when he rolled out, you know, so there wasn't a bunch of complaints about the line. I got a complaint about the line. Too much holding going on, too much fake holding they got going on, because I didn't see the center hold on the Chubb run, and I didn't see Titus Howard hold on 2 plays, and they showed the replay, and I didn't see the hold. So. But, you know, I'm not a ref, and that's just the way it goes. Sometimes you got to play extra hard. You got to keep your head down, play the team and the ref. It is what it is, and that's just the way it is. So, but again, y'all, hey, Texan fans, let's go celebrate. Tara, Janelle, hey, let's go and celebrate this week, because you got to win. We worry about next Sunday. And I tell y'all, I want to say this here. I hate these fans right here. When the Texans win, I got a friend down the street. We did this, we did that. When the Texans win. When the Texans lose, oh, I'm sorry. He's not a real fan. I tell him, stop talking to me, man. I don't want to talk to nobody, ain't no real fan. Get out of my face with all that. Because I'm a real fan, and I'm riding. If you're a real fan, it ain't F them when they're losing. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, let's get this thing going. So, yeah, you run into those fly-by-night fans, and then the other fans you're going to run into are the cowgirl fans. Because they can't help but to watch our game and pray for our downfall. But I'm going to do something different this day. Congratulations on a tough game last night and ending up with a tie with Green Bay in a game that everybody thought Green Bay would blow y'all out. Me personally, didn't think Green Bay would blow y'all out. I thought Green Bay would beat you and it would be a good game. But Green Bay showed me that a good defense can hamper them a little bit. Because Cleveland, as sorry as they are, they got a good defense. A lot of teams around the NFL have good defense, and even they know a good defensive line, like the Giants. Unfortunately for the Giants, they lost their star receiver yesterday. I think that's going to halt their momentum. I think they were getting ready to go on a nice little run and be trouble, but without him, I don't see it really happening. But that's their business. I'm worried about the Texans. We go to Baltimore next week, and we're about to go up there and play hard. I know the defense going to play. I know the defense going to play. I also know that coordinator up there, he going to try his best to start running that ball, because other than Zay Flowers and their tight end, they really don't have no marquee, receivers. And we should be able to shut them down. Our problem is going to be, even with 6 defensive starters out, are we able to do anything with the ball? That's going to be our problem. 6 defensive starters are out for Baltimore. Will that hinder us? Hinder them, or will that help us at all next week? Because we still got to beat them. And I want to re-insinuate this to everybody, re-insinuate to this. We haven't beaten them folks since Lamar Jackson moved to Baltimore. Okay? Chuck Taylor. So that's my stat guy right there, Big Chuck, y'all. You see Lucius hating on here, Chuck, because them girls down there in Gayland lost 49ers. Yeah. But that's okay, y'all. We're going to give them something to talk about next week. Because you hearing it here first. We get our first win against Lamar Jackson next week. I'm saying it boldly and proud. I mean what I say, and I'm not out here wishfully thinking. If I'm wrong, I'll be here next Monday to tell you, hey, I was wrong. But right now, better than Starbucks in my cup, I think we're going to go to the Ravens land and erupt, okay? So y'all know how it is. I don't want to hold everybody. I don't want to keep you here all day Sunday. I want you to go enjoy yourself. Keep in mind, we beat a team that hadn't won a game yesterday. Keep that in perspective. But any win in the NFL is tough. We know that. So we're not gonna apologize for it. We're gonna take it. Understand that it was a hard win. You understand? And we're gonna move on and enjoy our day, y'all. So this has been. Oh, I want to say one thing. I got one thing to say, y'all. On another note, I forgot to give the flowers to the boys, but they're going on home. The Astros missing the playoffs for the first time since 2016, y'all. Had a great run. He might even had me in the World Series a couple of games. You know what I mean? I never been to the World Series. So, hey, congratulations to y'all on a good season. We'll be back next year causing all kind of trouble. Young lady, Ashley, yes, baby, I got you on front and center this morning. You're in my hand. So, yeah, they're going to be all right, too. They'll be back. My old barber told me they tired. They ain't tired. They just didn't have the healthy team this year. Pitching been hurt. Some of your bats been hurt. And with any sport, nobody cares, but it matters. So y'all have a good Monday, like I say. Big round today after the Texans season 6, brought to you by the Brunch Bus. You don't know who to trust when you want to eat out, huh? They say you don't know who to trust. You find Houston's first mobile brunch bus. From catering to private dinners, from breakfast to lunch, the Brunch Bus delivers. So if it's good food you'll trust, well, it's still the Brunch Bus. Can I catch y'all next Monday after the win in Baltimore? Ashley, thank you. Give me some more going. This is just the start of it. I enjoyed y'all. Y'all be good.